Hello, hello. Can you hear me, Jean?
Hey Federico, yes, I can hear you.
How are you? Good?
Yes, everything fine. Just
Awesome.
sharing the the link to the inviting people.
Cool. Well, I'm just going to come here for a minute today. I'm in the street. I'm in Argentina now and with lots of meetings and stuff. So I'm on the street now. I just wanted to uh, come to say hi and welcome everyone that wants to join to listen to this. Like I would call this a special episode, right, Jean? This is a special episode
Yes,
of prediction markets.
yes, definitely. We have lots of initiatives going on, and it will be dedicated to that.
Cool. So, um, just for context, last week I mentioned that Clement launched a new prediction market called Seer, and this is a tool that can be used for lots of forecasting events. And Kleros has already experience in resolving disputes coming from prediction markets. Some of the most famous disputes resolved by Kleros happen in prediction markets like Omen. So, this is a fascinating area of development. There's different markets that have reached some traction, like the poly markets, and um, Kleros can play an important role in dispute resolution for this type of use case. And so, as I understand, Clement is going to come now to present himself a bit about Seer, about prediction market, which is, I guess, his specialty. Uh, so I will just leave you with him and with Eugene and the rest of the team that can join today. Yeah, and that's it for me. G, maybe you can give some update before the prediction market start about
Yes,
other stuff.
definitely.
And I'm just going to switch off now and we'll leave you there, okay?
Okay, I'll see you, Federico.
See you, bye-bye.
Okay. Meanwhile, while Clement is not available, I'll talk a little bit about some of the programs and incentives that we have been doing apart from these ones. So we have a recurring incentive program for curate submissions. The submissions have um, they tag tokens, they tag contracts and pairs of and domains and contracts to be used on Kleros Scout and Etherscan, and basically most block explorers based on Etherscan get information from these contracts. And we recently we changed the policy, so we are now just rewarding the entries that are about items that are not tagged on block explorers, and we have chosen 5 different networks to reward with these incentives. Let me get the list real quick. If I'm not mistaken, ZK Sync is one of the networks, and Gnosis Chain. 1 second. Yes, and a couple of other networks are being rewarded. So the idea is that if we incentivize these new contracts to be tagged, then our list will be more complete, and this might help us get more integrations with these lists. And it's fair. I would like Guamian to join our calls sometime to talk a little bit about how complete these lists are, because we are having really good feedback from some protocol from some services that use our lists. So this is one of the incentives, and the other one is called ATQ registry, and it's basically a way to query a sorry to create queries that tag lots of contracts at the same time, and this also improves our capacity to tag contracts. And there are hundred thousands of items tagged right now because of this new registry. And we ran a program to reward each entry with $200 each, and also give some benefits for people that get challenged. And this was available for the first 10 entries. And this week, if I'm not mistaken, yesterday, we had the first 10 entries. So we will probably extend this program next month. And we'll also be announcing which of the services are integrating this new registry. Okay, so while we wait for Clement, maybe let me send you the permission to speak, William. Okay, another thing that I would like to mention is that yesterday Federico finished recording a course. Okay, Clement is here. Let me send you the request, Clement. So Federico finished the recording of the updated version of his online course about legal tech and legal innovation. And this maybe people from outside Latam doesn't know this much, doesn't know about this much, but in Latin I've met lots of people that entered that joined crypto, that got interested in crypto because they they looked for content about crypto investments and business built on blockchains, found this course by Federico and completed this course. And it's lots of people learned about Kleros through this course. And interestingly, people learned about crypto also through this course. So it's very good that we will have an updated version. Now we have much more to share. The original one was made in 2020. So I want I'm very excited for people to learn about Kleros and also learn about the Mexico case, the Mendoza Supreme Court agreement, the new Mexico law about alternative dispute resolution methods, and so on, and many of the progresses that we have been making on different fields. So this will be the new generation of people joining crypto through the Federico course. Okay, so Clement is here. How are we doing, Clement?
Good, and you?
Fine. So we have lots of updates to share, right?
Yeah. So last week we had Seer launch. So that's pretty great, and that's probably now what's where most of the TVL of Kleros is coming from. So last time I checked, we had something like $600,000 to $700,000 worth of Seer outcome token, which are all ultimately arbitrated by Kleros. So let's first do like short introduction to prediction market, looking at the main market, which is the US election. So you have the US election, you get one DAI, you put it into the market, and now you get one Trump token, you get one Harris token, and you get some invalid token. And so if Trump wins the election, the Trump token is going to be redeemed for one DAI. If Harris wins, Harris is going to be redeemed for one DAI, and invalid if something else happens. Hopefully, it's not going to be worth anything, but you never know what can happen. Like some candidate could be replaced or something like that. So you have the invalid token in case we have another outcome happening. And now, like if you want to take a position on a particular outcome, for example, if you think that that Harris is gonna win, you can buy some Harris token, and now Harris token they will cost less than one DAI. And if Harris ends up being president, then you get one DAI per token of Harris you bought. So currently you can buy them for 45 cents. So if Harris gets elected, then you will get 55 cents of profit. But if Harris does not get elected, well, you lose what you put in this position. And the interest of that is by looking at the price of those tokens, you can get some estimate on the likelihood of each event. So here I'm currently seeing that Trump is at 54 cents. So that means that there is 54% chance that Trump will actually win the election. And you can do that with like more complex market. You can try to, for example, estimate how many votes a particular candidate will get. So in this case, you make a multi-scalar market. So here, you still get a Harris token, you get a Trump token, you get one token for the other candidates, and each token is going to redeem for the proportion of votes that this candidate will get. So now if Harris gets 50% of the vote, the Harris token is redeemed for 50 cents. If Trump gets 48% of the vote, the Trump token is redeemed for 48 cents. So by looking at the price of this token, you can get some estimate of the share of the vote that candidate will receive. And if we look currently what we have Harris at 49.8, Trump at 48.2, and you have all other party and independent candidate at 2%. So that gives you a way to estimate some real value like some real value in the future. What we also have are contingent market. So one a bit like interesting, but maybe a bit controversial. Like you have here some market which is will Donald Trump be sentenced to time behind bars in 2024, but this is conditional on Harris winning the election. Obviously, if he's president, he cannot be sentenced, at least not in 2024. So you can make this market, but instead of putting DAI as your underlying token, you can put the token that you got in another market as your underlying token. So here's the token you put Harris token. So you put Harris token, and now you get some token which is Harris yes. So Harris wins the election and Trump is sentenced. And you get some Harris no. Harris wins the election and Trump is not sentenced. And now if you look at the price of this token compared to the underlying, in this case Harris, you can get some probability estimate of what will happen. Like, will Trump be sentenced in time behind bar if Harris win? And here currently we have yes 16%, no 84%. So that gives you some conditional estimate of the future. You can ask stuff like, okay, like if Harris wins, how likely Trump is gonna go to jail? And you can ask stuff also like, oh, if Trump wins, what would be the price of Bitcoin, or what would be the price of ETH, or whatever you want. And you can even change those kind of markets. Like you can say, okay, what happened if what would be the price of what is even that? It's like Liberty, and like the Liberty coin that Trump just launched. You could ask, what is going to be the price of this Liberty token if Harris wins the election and Trump goes to jail? Like you can ask anything you want and get conditional estimate on those. So that's pretty exciting. You can look at that. You can look on Seer.pm. I don't even know if I can. Can I put it? Oh yeah, I can put here. I will say Seer.pm. So you can look at the market there. Okay. So you can look at these markets. There is significant liquidity, as I was saying before. There is like something like 600 to 700K of underlying. There is probably a similar amount in SDAI. So you are looking at something over $1 million of liquidity, which is pretty nice for something we just launched last week. You can also look like you have arbitrage opportunities. You can see other markets may have probability different than some other markets. So you can buy on one market and sell on another. Something we have noticed is you have poly market, which is already giving way higher odds to Trump than Seer. So you can buy Trump wins token on Seer and buy Trump lose token on Polymarket. And as long as everything is working correctly, both Seer, Kleros, Yuma are all working correctly, then you get some profit from the difference of price between those different markets. So that's where you may have some opportunities there. And for Kleros, well, like that's gonna potentially lead to disputes. I know that US elections, they tend to be contested. So I don't know what's going to happen after the election, if the loser is going to accept or not accept the election outcome. So we're going to see if you get also a big dispute like we got 4 years prior. And last element also, like I've been talking about DAI, but in practice, you don't even put DAI, you put a yield bearing token, in this case, SDAI, such that your outcome token, they get a yield. That's particularly interesting if it's a position that you can keep a whole year or even more. Currently, you get something like 7% on SDAI. So this means that if you spend like $100 on I don't know, like what can happen next year? Give me something which could happen next year.
Oh, I don't know. The elections are important.
Or maybe not next year. I guess in 10 years,
somewhere else.
You put $100 in will there be some human colony on Mars in 10 years? Well, if you are doing that with DAI, no one will do that because in 10 years, you will have the inflation will be so bad that even if you win, well, you will lose because of inflation. But no, you have some collateral, which is yield bearing. So in 10 years, you put $100, you will have the yield of DAI if actually there are humans on Mars, and you will not lose due to inflation because you are using a yield bearing asset. So that's also one of the, let's say, innovation that we saw in Seer. Currently, it's really mainly like US election thing because that's what is hype right now. But I could see after doing also futarchy, where the idea is to use prediction market to get better decisions. Something like what will be the value of this particular token if we deploy on this particular chain, for example. So you can use that to get some market-based data on what will happen if you take a particular decision, and then you can take better decisions. So yeah, I think it's a nice overview. Maybe like if some people have some questions.
Yes, I think one thing that it would be nice to mention is that we have seen a lot of disputes over outcomes of prediction markets. And maybe it would be nice to talk a bit about what Seer does to prevent controversies or make the results more predictable than other options.
So while Seer is using Kleros with reality, so initially you put the answer on reality, and if people disagree to the answer, you can either create a dispute to Kleros, but then you have to pay the arbitration fees, or double the bond. So when bonds are high enough, it becomes economically viable to pay for the arbitration fee because you will get the bond of the previous answerer if he was wrong. And when you have that, you have a Kleros dispute. Currently, there is 31 initial jurors. So this is made such that we can get into a dispute sooner compared to the previous version. Because on Omen initially, it was like 500 jurors, something like that. So you only had one round. Well, here it will start with a decent amount of jurors, but it's still, I think it's 0.6 ETH or something like that to make a dispute. So it's still a cost which can be payable by a unique actor and does not even require people to resort to crowdfunding to pay. So that's on the dispute. Obviously, there will also be a lot of different rules which were made. You can see the policy, which I can also give that link to the policy market rule. I will give you that here. So yeah, I put that in the chat. you have the market rules, which I think started with the Omen rule, but trying to solve a bunch of new edge cases. And what you also have, the also new thing that we have now is there is reality, which has the answer too soon option. So this means that if you don't know the answer yet, but you have a reasonable expectation that you will know the answer in the future, the market resolution can be delayed until the answer is known. So that's to avoid stuff like you put a market and the end date is the day of the election, but there is a lot of controversy in the election, so you don't have the final result and the market result as invalid. Here we want to avoid that, so you have the option to say answer too soon. And in this case, the question will be reopened until either it's answered or it's ruled as invalid. Other element also that Seer is using Kleros for market resolution, but it's also using Kleros for verifying that the market is great. So in general, a great market is if it's not expected to be invalid, and if it's non-tricky. I will put you that in the chat also. And this is using curate. So if you make a market, like anyone can make a market, but I will not advise you to take a position on a market made by someone you don't know, unless the market gets verified. So verification, it's a classic curate use case. You put the information, so what is the market, some nice images about the outcome and of the market itself, and you put a deposit. And if someone says that your market is bad, either because it's tricky, because it's expected to be invalid, because the resolution date is, I don't know, like in 10 years, while you would have known the answer in next year. So if something is bad in your market, someone can challenge this market and get the deposit of the person who submitted it, and that goes to a Kleros dispute. So yeah, like Seer using Kleros in two ways for curation and obviously as an oracle through reality. So I think that's quite interesting, both of those use cases.
Yes, that's pretty nice, because I've read lots of complaints of people about other markets, and usually it's the unclear. If the rules are unclear, it can generate problems to everyone. And even I've read people saying, "Okay, I won't participate on prediction markets anymore because this is I don't have to just think about the outcome of the question. I have to think about how the arbitrator will resolve, or what are the dynamics behind that." So it's very good that Seer tackles that. And another thing that I think it's important are the incentives for people to participate. Maybe if you could talk about that.
Oh yeah, so like there will be like the Seer drop. So you have three elements. So first one, 50% for liquidity providers. So that's really like classic yield farming thing. You put some liquidity between SDAI and some outcome tokens, and then you're gonna get some point receipts that you can get token with them once the token is launched. That's 50% of the airdrop. Then you have 25%, which is in proportion of the value of the outcome token that you own. And the last one is 25% for people who are registered in Proof of Humanity in proportion of the square root of the value of the token they hold. So the idea is that even if you, I don't know, like you take a position with $10 or $100, you will not have much in the two other parts of the airdrop, but you should still have something decent in the Proof of Humanity based airdrop. And that's what I was saying. It's quite quadratic airdrop incoming. I think it's something that other projects should also emulate using Proof of Humanity, because if you do some airdrop which is proportional to use, well, you give too much to whales. If you do some airdrop where everyone gets the same, well, you know, like it tends to lead to a lot of bots trying to farm the airdrop. But here, if you use the squaring rule and use probability. So probability, you make sure that it's only real human interacting, and the squaring means that even if you are a small player, you will still get something non-negligible. So I think we could see more stuff like quadratic airdrop once proof of humanity becomes well used for airdrops.
Yes, that's nice. I think it will be very interesting to see how people will register to participate and get this airdrop. Okay, so I don't know if there's more to say about Seer. Like, what I remember the talk that at ETC that you mentioned a couple of use cases of that might involve AI agents. Like, is that what do you have in mind? What do you think we will see on Seer?
So currently, most AI agents are on Omen because it was developed by Gnosis, and Gnosis is really the one pushing for AI agents. So Seer is also using the same contract developed by Gnosis, but it just popped up now. But we could have some AI agent wanting to use some feature of Seer which are not available on Omen, so namely scalar markets and contingent markets. For the short term, I see those mainly be some experiments. I don't think they will overperform human or on the short term. But on the longer term, what I will see prediction market taking a role similar to what auction have taken into the web. So auction used to be mainly between humans, but now most of the auction, you are doing auction for advertisement space. They are done by bots, and bots are bidding against each other. So I think most of the machine learning that are currently used today could be replaced by prediction market with AIs. So this doesn't mean you don't do machine learning anymore. It's just that you do some machine learning and then you make a good AI, and then this AI will be competing with other AI to make good predictions. And here I'm talking about micro prediction. Like here, like if you're here, it's probably because like the X algorithm recommended you that you wanted to watch or to listen this community call. So what you can do is the X algorithm can look at a bunch of things that you may be interested in looking at. And then for each of them, you make a market. It's a super fast market. Only AI will trade. And the question on this market is, if this particular thing is shown to you, are you going to interact with it? Are you going to like, retweet, join the call? Like, are you going to interact with this content? And then all the AI, they can compete into this market, answering yes or no. If it's not shown to you, well, nothing happened. Like the market is basically cancelled. But then if this is some content which is shown to you, then we can know if you interact with this or not. And then the token of interact, yes, they get given to the AI who got those if you interacted with it. And if you did not interact with it, the AI will bet.
I'm not sure if I have a problem with my headphone, but I'm not listening to you, Clement. 1 second. Okay, can you hear me, William?
Yeah, I can hear you, Dean.
And can you hear Clement? Because
No, I think he cut.
oh, okay, perfect. Okay, in that case, maybe you can go ahead, William, and I will message Clement.
Yeah, I don't have that much to say in terms of our research update. I have a talk that I'm going to give in a couple weeks at DEF CON on real number oracles. So this question of how you ask sort of Kleros style questions when you want the answer to be a number. Maybe you have some decentralized insurance protocol and you want to determine sort of partial damages. You have a freelancer contract, small business owner dispute, and you want to determine some sort of partial payment to pay to the freelancer. And how do you handle those kinds of cases? What kinds of voting and incentive systems you should use? This is something we've been thinking about and been researching on for years in various forms. Clément and I have a paper from many years ago at this point where we considered things like this, but we wanted to sort of like add a kind of something like a submitter challenger game where people would provide number values, but then ultimately that would create a bunch of binary disputes that Kleros journals could solve, because at the time we only had access to Kleros v1 solving binary disputes. And now as v2 is approaching, we will be able to sort of have jurors submit more rich information themselves. They don't only have to have binary disputes. We're revisiting some of these research questions about like, okay, now that we have these extra capacities for V2, like what are the ideal voting and incentive systems for this kind of application? So I'm going to be talking about this in Bangkok in a few weeks. I invite you all to check out that talk when it's available.
Awesome. Yeah, I would recommend people to also watch your talk that you recorded for the Oxford, the of candidates of the PhD from Oxford. I'll add the link. Okay, Clement. Yeah, I don't remember exactly where, but we were talking about AI agents, and I believe it was the part about algorithms. Yes, I think after mentioning that they would work just like auctions on social media. Can you hear me, Clement? William, can you hear me?
I can still hear you, Gene.
Okay. Okay. Do you hear me now, Clement?
Yeah, I can hear you. I just went on mobile.
Oh, okay, perfect.
Yeah,
you were cut right after you were talking about auctions on social media to like.
Oh, okay. So yeah, auction. So yeah. So currently, most of the auction they are between AIs who are bidding for advertisement space, and I think we may see something similar with prediction markets. Like in the short term, I expect humans to overperform AI. Obviously, it's going to be more expensive to use humans, so AI may still be useful, but to get very, very good results, humans are going to be better in the short term. But what you can do with AI that you can't do with human is that you can do very micro markets, like something where you have like 1 cent of liquidity or even less. So here, for example, if you are here, you're probably here because of the X algorithm, which may have recommended you Kleros or this particular community call. So what you can do to replace the X algorithm, you can replace it with a prediction market. And so the way to do that is you find a lot of content that you may be interested by, like some AI finds that, and then you get some prediction market on each of them. And the prediction market would be, if this content is displayed to the user, will the user interact with it? So interact can be like, answer, listen, whatever you want to optimize. Now you have those markets on all those potential contents. The AI can bid on those. They can trade against each other. Then you look at the content which, according to those markets, is the most likely content which is going to lead to an engagement from the user. And then you show the content which is going to be the most likely. The other, well, all the markets, they just get canceled because we will never know. And then if the user is interacting with the content, the AI who got position on yes, interact, they will get tokens. And the AI who took position on no, doesn't interact, they only get token if the user doesn't interact with the content. And this is interesting because you could actually make an AI which will combine multiple AIs. So you don't need to have X developing the super great AI to recommend posts to users. You can just make a prediction market, let any AI developer compete to make the best AIs, and then they trade in those markets, and X is using those markets to recommend content to users. So it's not going to happen next year. Like, I think it's more of a long-term thing, like 5 to 10 years. But I think that's probably going to be one of the, that's probably going to be the most impactful thing that prediction market may have on people's daily life. Like, they will get most of their recommendation done by prediction markets. But they may not even know, like people sometimes don't even know that the content which is displayed to them is due to an auction. Here they may not even know there is a prediction market under the hood. But I think it's very likely that we're going to move to single company machine learning into an aggregation through prediction markets. And this means that you can have like 5 or 10 different AI companies who may be competing. They don't even need to reveal their code source. They just need to set up a bot to trade in those markets. And we may even probably have the first AGI. They may not even be developed by one particular entity. It may be the resulting of different AI combined with a prediction market. And this may end up being something which could be more clever than a human. So combining AI and market mechanism.
Awesome. Yeah, I think this could be potentially very important to decentralize the algorithms. Cool. So, would you like to talk, Clement, about the other initiatives apart from Seer?
Yes, I talk a bit about the AI, which now mainly on Omen. So you have multiple teams already looking at that. It's not micro prediction market. It's like very small. It's maybe like 10 die, but it's still waiting 2 or 3 days, I think, on average, to predict future outcomes. That's also all arbitrated by Kleros, so that's great. You can look at that if you are a developer mainly, but yeah, it's really mainly for developers, mainly like a research project. And the other market which is using Kleros is Forland, and this is a play money prediction market. So if you are a bit scared of putting real money on the line, you can look at Forland. I'm going to put you the link in the description also. And you get some tokens. You can make prediction on particular outcomes of the US election. And when you've done that, at the end, you will get some PNK depending of how many tokens you win or lose. Let me put that in the chat. Forland.
Yeah, about Forland, I think we have like pretty good prices for people that the top 100 predictors have, I believe, to $12,000 in PNK tokens. So it might be it's a good way to participate in the Kleros ecosystem, try prediction markets for maybe the first time, and maybe even send to your friends, because the interface is that doesn't require you to log in with a wallet. You just log in with an email, and then your friends might join Web3 and crypto after that. Okay, so I think we covered almost everything, right? Maybe one thing. Can you tell something about the Seer DAO? Will it use Kleros, SafeSnap? What do you have in mind?
Yeah, this is probably going to use Kleros SafeSnap. For now, it's not released yet, but yeah, probably Seer token to be used for governance, and Kleros SafeSnap to execute decision. and probably prediction market to give insight for the voters before making decisions.
Okay, that will be interesting, like a future key on Gnosis chain. Maybe it will be one of the first projects to do that, or I don't know if it will be on Gnosis or mainnet, but
there is already a project doing that. It's MetaDAO, but I don't know how far they are.
yeah, I think it's on Solana, so maybe it could be the first on Gnosis and mainnet. Good. So I think that's the most important things that we had to share. Maybe it's worth to say that we have been having lots of progress with the V2, and we just have internally a demo showing the new notification system that seems to be working. And then of course there's some testing to do, and the objective is to send the first case on V2 before DevCon, which is a couple of weeks away. So let's hope everything goes well. And well, anything else, Clement? Or otherwise, I think we can finish.
Yeah, I think like that's all, unless someone has any questions.
Okay, maybe if you have questions, you can send on the Telegram group. Let's wait a couple of seconds. I know Marcos is reading us. Marcos recently learned about Kleros and is following everything we do very closely. Okay. Okay. If no one has any questions, we can finish it here, and I'll send the recording and a recap to everyone in the group. Well, thanks a lot, Clement, for coming. Thanks, William, and everyone in the audience. See you in the Telegram chat.
See you, everyone. Cheers.
Bye.